Greetings to Issa Fuseni.
No, I prefer Fuseni, Issa.
It is tempting to always say Inusa Fuseni.
No, I prefer Fuseni, Issa, because Fuseni is my
Fuseni.
Issa.
Issa Fuseni, or Fuseni Issa.
He nearly looks like Nanado, the president. Except that the glasses are not round.
No, you don't do that to my brother. My brother is a tall man.
Oh, okay.
He's a tall man.
Okay.
Averagely. First and foremost, let it be put on record that President Akufo-Addo lied as to when the spillage started and his presence in Ghana. President Akufo-Addo left Ghana on the 11th of October to the United States of America at the invitation of the United States Peace Institute to come and deliver a message, keynote message. It was nothing special. Keynote message. Nothing extraordinary. So if President Akufo-Addo left Ghana on the 11th of October, before 11th of October, the water levels and the spillage had reached a crescendo. And we had already started talking about the devastation. At that time, the entire Adidome Hospital was shut down. The hospitals at Gakope were shut down. VRA installations were all shut down at Mepe. These things happened before President Akufo-Addo took his trip to the United States to go and deliver a keynote address. Nothing special, by an institute that is talking about peace. That is to say that the Institute of Economic Affairs invites you, that's Ghana, that President Biden should come and address. That is the equivalent. I hope you understand that the Institute of Economic Affairs is inviting President Biden to come and deliver a speech. And the President of the United States will find it prudent to allow national crisis to be unattended to go and deliver this. And as Murtala said, he went and miscommunicated. In fact, instead of going to communicate peace, he went and communicated violence.
Oh, how? How so?
The people of Palestine and Israel have been in turmoil since 1948. Globally, many are aware that the Palestinian people have suffered indignation in the hands of the Israelis. Globally, many are aware that at a certain point in 1993, Bill Clinton led a certain dialogue that agreed that 81% of the lands belong to the Palestinians and that only 19% was under contention. And so they should sign an agreement for the 81% while they were dealing, or they should deal with, the nuances around the 19%. Today, as we speak, Israel has taken more than 70% of the land. Today, as we speak, they have taken more than 70% of the land. Today, Israel, that created Hamas, because they sprang up Hamas to fight the Palestinian Liberation Organization. Along the line, when the funding to Hamas failed, the Palestinian people, Hamas decided to stand by itself and became a political party, won election. The United States, the United Kingdom, and Israel refused to allow Hamas as a political organization to take over because they describe it as a terrorist organization.
Well, that's the official position of the world's powers.
Right. Hamas is a political party. Hezbollah is a political party. The Taliban is a political
They're also
party.
armed groups.
I'm saying that why Nelson Mandela was described as a terrorist. So freedom fighters globally are described as terrorists because they are not doing what the rest of the world wants.
And then our president.
So our president
And Che Guevara.
Our president decides, instead of talking about peace, to see how we can reconcile the people within that region, goes to say that Ghana stands with Israel. Was the president communicating peace? So his invitation was of no significance because he was supposed to go and preach peace, and he went and stoked violence, the reason for which we are having the escalation here. At the same time, the president decided not to attend to his own. Listen, 2 days ago, President Joe Biden woke up to realize that a 6-year-old and a mother were stabbed to death. And they traces that to the conflict in the East, what do we call it?
East Jerusalem.
They trace that to the conflict. Okay. And that the woman is a Palestinian. And Joe Biden stopped every other thing to take time to condemn that action. In spite of the fact that America has sent weapons to Israel to go and support Israel, they condemned that action.
Now let's come back home.
President Akufo-Addo, in the face of calamity of this magnitude, decided to leave Ghana on the 11th of October. So when the president yesterday started saying that he was away and the chief of staff called him,
that was not true.
That was a big lie.
How do you know that? Are you in the president's office?
But he just
the president was in Ghana when this spillage started. I told you the date that the president left. Would you mute? Because as we were talking, I kept quiet. You have 3 gadgets.
I'll even call Mr. Richard Ahiagba right now to contribute. He wants to come.
You have 3 gadgets before you. So president left here on the 11th of October. How is that a case that the president was unaware that this spillage has started? Then it means the president should sack his national security minister and coordinator.
Oh, why?
Because they should be feeding the president of daily activities across the country of the security and health situation. Because that crisis in the Volta region affects. Today. Look, do you know the magnitude of investment that is gone? Do you know the lives that are affected? We are told by Child Rights International that about 10,896 children alone are displaced and affected. Do you know what that means? This is just within 80 communities. That is what they officially say. Unofficially, we will not be able to ascertain the number of people that are affected. The constant look down of the people of the Volta region by President Akufo-Addo is becoming one too many. A chief talks and you tell the chief that they should go and take their own investment and go and complete school projects.
Yes.
The people are suffering and you walk there and go and tell them that if it was about politics, you will not be there. You don't understand the reason for which you are president. You walk to the people. Look, as we speak, farmers have lost everything. You know that along the same Volta Lake. International fishers, they are doing a lot of fish farming on the lake.
The Chinese.
The locals are doing a lot of fish. All their things are gone.
Huge investments.
Everything is gone. Right? As we speak, mortuaries, in fact, if the entire hospital is gone, well, you are talking about mortuaries. So dead bodies and what have you have been taken away. Life-threatening situation. It's not a time to go and joke. To be telling the people that you know one day they will vote for you. What has that got to do at this particular time, the time of crisis? You are thinking about electoral fortunes. What is this? Look, our president should credit the people of Ghana with a certain level of decency. See, there is a difference between being a president and being a political leader.
I don't understand.
President Akufo-Addo does not understand the differentiation between a political leader and being a president.
If you're not a politician and a political, how do you become president?
When you become president, you grow above partisanship.
Sometimes.
You grow above partisanship. In every communication of the president, it is about the new patriotic party, the narrow politics of it. Ghana is bigger than the new patriotic party. In fact, president was born when the new Patriotic Party as a political entity today was not in existence.
Please wrap up.
And so he should understand the difference.
Please, I've called for Mr. Richard Ahiagba to just conclude for me.
That what? That he is not a Voltairean, he is not affected, he is not insulted by the sentiments of the president.
He's a director of communication.
He's coming to speak partisan. No. Let us hear him.
Mr. Richard Ahiagba, you wanted to make an intervention. Let's quickly hear you in 2.5 minutes, sir.
Thank you for the opportunity. I think I've been following the discussions so far.
You've been following the discussions on this platform.
I believe in your capacity to defend the party.
Sorry?
You mean you've been following the discussions on this platform?
On this and other platforms.
Okay.
Yes.
Let me hear you.
Yes. So the quick comments I want to make is that there's a context for the conversation. That before the president went there, and I thank you, Roland, for reading the statement, even though he didn't read all of it. Before the president went there, there were widespread politicization of the issue.
By who?
Stating that by the NDC sold in the Volta region. I was throughout the weekend I was in the Volta region. Okay? So now here is what is happening. And if you take
Mr. Richard Ahiagba, where you come from the Volta region, don't you? Where in the Volta region were you in during the period of the weekend where there was extreme politicization of assigns of the NDC in the Volta region? Because it was not a national issue. That's why I want us to clarify that.
Well, what I'm saying is that this thing is happening in the Volta region. Okay? So what is happening is that, and if you don't have to focus on this conversation, well, and I please that just give me a moment to establish the point I want to make. There is always this constant politics by the NDC to create the impression that MPP and its administrations don't care about Voltaireans. Convenient for them because that's where their stronghold is to get votes from there. So they sow these seeds all the time when anything happens, to say that the people don't care, the NPP doesn't care. And so the instances that you're talking about, it is because the NDC continues to do this. So in this particular case, whilst aware the Volta region, this is happening, there's this conversation that, the president doesn't care about Voltaireans. That's how he's not here. That's why this is not happening. Roland, it's not true. One, the president's comment was to respond to this unfortunate continuous politicization of issues that happened in the Volta region, to create the impression that the NPP and its government doesn't care about the people. This comment is nothing to do with the people, but to address, and Roland, if you read the statement, it's very clear, to say that I am here as a president of the country, not as a person who you voted for or didn't vote for. But I am here because you are going through difficult times. Now, here is the emphasis. If it was about taking note of who voted for me or who didn't vote for me, I wouldn't be here. But I'm here because I am your president. Directly addressing the issue of saying that, he doesn't care about Voltaireans. He is the president of Voltaireans too.
Okay, point made.
Is the thrust of the statement. So, if Mutala, my good brother, is in your studio creating this false impression that Akosombo has said something untoward, it is a response to their politicization of the pain of the people of the Volta region.
All right.
My good brother Bernard Bona is in your studio saying that Akosombo doesn't care about Ghanaians. It is because he's responding to the unfortunate politicization, weaponization of the NDC, of the pain of my people. And that, for me, I think is important.
All right.
I saw the pain that people are going through.
Mr. Ahiagba, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Mr. Ahiagba, you will not land, please. And respectfully, let's have this in a very civil atmosphere.
Thank you. Roland, okay, thank you. And I appreciate the opportunity.
Talk big Bojidi. Oh, no, please. No, please. Mr. Anyagba. Mr. Anyagba.
Not go.
Yes, please.
I asked you a question. You never answered the question. You said you were in the Volta region. And
yes,
in your observation while you were in the Volta region, there was this massive political commentary and communication and sensitization of the affected victims and communities that the president did not care because he didn't get his votes from the Volta region. And you claimed that these were being communicated by the NDC or its assigns. And I asked you where and how and who was doing that, because it hadn't come to the national domain as a conversation. So where, who, and how were these communications done? And
thank you. The MP for my constituency, Ketu South, made a comment in the nature of what Bernard Mona is making in your studio to say that the president is consoling foreigners rather than the people of the Volta region. Okay?
Okay.
That is a direct attack on the president to say that the issue happening in the Volta region doesn't care. But you see, the governance structure of our country is working. The president doesn't have to be in the Volta region for government to work for the people. NIMO is deployed. The regional minister is engaged. I was at a funeral in my constituency. Afterwards, we went around looking. Okay. The municipal chief executive of my constituency, Maxwell Lugudo, we had a conversation about this, and he told me what they were doing, mobilizing to support the people.
Mr. Anyagba,
so it is not entirely true that the president didn't go there and therefore nothing was being done. The people were being taken care of.
Thank you.
The president going is not what determines whether government is caring or not for the people.
Mr. Anyagba, I asked a question. You never responded to the question about the evidence that you picked up. And then I also wanted to ask you what you make of the president's posture. If you, Mr. Richard Anyagba, a deputy communications director of the ruling party. Okay. A director of communications. Sorry for reducing your position. Director. So you're the boss, communication of the ruling party, and the regional minister. No, sir, please listen to me. While we have a vice president, in the absence of the president traveling, why not the vice president and you and the regional minister going? Don't you think that the optics are important? Just in one word.
Yes, but Roland. Now, if you are focused on optics, that's what you will do. But if you are focused on solution, you deploy the essential staff that solve the problem.
All right. And that's what you did. Mr. Richard Anyagba, thank you very much. Thank you very much for indulging me. Thank you very much. So conclude for me and then.
First and foremost,
I give you one minute, sir.
I think that it is the highest insult. It's the highest insult to have the Honorable Fuseni Issa in the studio.
Bernard.
And then Richard Anyagba will call into the show.
Bernard, no.
Invariably, can I make?
Please conclude it. I don't like what you're doing, Mr. Fuseni.
Can I make? When I finish, you can make. I think it's the highest insult to a dignified man to be a former member of parliament, to be in the studio defending something. Can I make the point?
You have your 10.
Then Richard Anyagba will call into the show to say that the man sitting here is of no consequence.
Oh, he didn't say that.
By what he has done, that is the inference. If I were with Anyagba, I would walk out. Because your director of communication is saying that your presence here is nothing.
Yes.
That is the implication.
See, guys.
The second point that I want to establish is that where is Anyagba coming from? What is his locus going to the Volta region? In what capacity? Every one of us can go. The significance of the president going to the Volta region is not the same thing as you, Richard Anyagba, or any one of us. Look, John Mahama went there. Alan Chirimanten went there. Many people have gone there. But I'm saying that when you are the president, the URA, the import, that you go there and you speak to the issues afflicting the people is different from telling me that you went there. Finally, on this subject matter, assuming that the president did not even lie that he was only in the US when he was informed. When the president was in the US and he was informed, was there not a vice president? Could the president not have just taken a phone call and say, Mr. Vice President, if the vice president was not acting on his own intuition, that go to this place and see the level of devastation? Why are you toying with people's lives?
He mentioned my
no, please. Mr. Hussaini, how do we put the icing on the cake on this? How do we make sure cool heads prevail? Are we taking the president's comment out of context?
I still stand by the fact that if you look at and if you take your time to listen to the president, I mean, the entire speech that he gave.
You should be not
the experts, the expert, the prof from UCC,
Dr.
Santiotre, was making the fact the point that sometimes former presidents, he did mention President Rawlings, have tried to bring some humor to some of those very unfortunate. I'm not saying it's a very serious situation. I'm sitting and thinking that, look, VRA is one of our top institutions in this country. And it is not the case that they have never foreseen such a thing happening, especially when we have had a forecast of heavy rains within the year. So they should have done this. And there have been stimulation exercises, from what I gather, over time. And so the people should actually, unfortunately, maybe the level of spillage. And you see,
do you think that what you see, the level of disaster, we were disaster prepared?
Roland, can I just say, this what is happening today, what we are looking at, we had never discussed it until now. Meanwhile, this whole thing started on the 15th of September because the level probably was something that could be contained within their preparedness or level of preparedness. Okay. We could have contained it. It started on over a month ago, but we are now discussing it because it's got into proportions that cannot be contained at the level of preparedness. That's how come this whole thing has become. So I don't think that the whole issue of politicization of this thing is kind of relevant. No, let's move on. Okay. Let's actually spend our efforts into safeguarding lives, like the president said. Let's push our efforts and resources into protecting lives and businesses around the area, rather than us trying to put a spin on this whole thing. That's how you were talking.
So Richard had to come in to reinforce the message.
It is not. I don't think Richard said anything different from what I'm saying.
So why did he come?
Richard did not say anything different from what I'm saying.
Why did he come?
But just sometimes we work as a team.
Okay.
And from where I'm seated, this is
Mr. Richard Anyagba and Fuseni, thank you for the teamwork this morning. Please, I give you only 3 minutes. I don't have time.
That is Mutala here. You know where I am sandwiched between. So if I have any support, I mean, it's good for the show.
Not because
you have only 3 minutes.
He's a very intelligent young person. To tell you the truth, this is profoundly.
You, so you cannot refer to me as a young person.
Oh, okay. This old man, Nyonkurugu, Dokurugu. It is very disrespectful to him.
Please, let's hear what.
It is very disrespectful what he did. Look at how he concluded. That he said virtually what he said. So why did he come in? You see, when Jifa Gomashi, my colleague, there was a similar incident. And Honorable Jifa Gomashi was raising the alarm and making statement. They never gave a jot. They never responded to her. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Government didn't respond. And she herself said, look, several attempts, they never responded. 2, you had a paramount chief from Volta region. When the president visited, and the paramount chief said, look, President Mahama started this school block. We would urge that if you could complete that, you know what the president said? If you have money, go and complete it. You have wound to me. Their MPP, Ashanti Regional Chairman, who said you cannot blame the president, you didn't vote for him. So you see, a class case. What did he say? Okay,
I haven't confirmed that.
What did he say?
I haven't confirmed the witness.
What did he say?
Please,
what did he say?
Please, go on.
He should comment. They make these allegations against you.
Please, I haven't confirmed that. Because I've tried to confirm.
Look,
I haven't seen
it's a clear case of Tangnache Baba on Urum Nachimba. A chief comes home with weird haircut. What does he expect his subjects to do? And you see, they're quick to mention by Richard that my people. But you see, I am tempted to believe and agree with Cicero. When Cicero famously stated that politics was a country idiot, And one thing I have observed from some of our colleagues in the Volta region and in the northern part of the country, if they need recognition within the MPP, they must do something extra. Your people are dying. And it took this government almost a week to even issue a statement on that matter. President Mahama had to go there. Honorable Alan Chirmantin had to go there. The president didn't go because, first and foremost, Honorable Bernard Moma had established that the president lied. How about the vice president? He was going around campaigning. The campaigning of the vice president for him and the MPP is more important than the lives of the people of that region. Let's call a spade a spade. The president would not have done same if it had happened to his constituents. He is doing so because he feels that the people. I'm saying that, but he's not. He just told the people of Volta region. He just told them. He just told them.
Mr. Fuseni, this is what you were doing. So Richard had to come in to reinforce. Stop doing this.
He just told them.
This is what you were doing. Then Richard had to come in to reinforce.
Roland, he just told them.
Stop it, please. I beg you, with all due respect.
Roland, he just told them they didn't vote for him, and that if it was about voting, he wouldn't be there, as if it was some favor he is doing the people of Volta region. That was reckless, that was irresponsible, and such statement ought not be coming from the #1 citizen of the Republic of Ghana.
La ilaha illallah.
Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Dr. Santiotre, your conclusion by way of the comments. From your observations so far, you look at the arguments that are coming from one side, the concerns from regional groupings, concerns from the political side of the divide, and then also what the media has now taken on to be a gaffe by the president or not. How do we make sure that the right things are done going forward?
I would say it is a gaffe, no two ways about that. In terms of political communication, the president did not get it right. And that's the more reason why we now have, quite a number of people coming to testify that and contextualizing it. My final take on this is that, and you rightly asked the question, everything points to the fact that we're not prepared for this disaster. The enormity of the disaster shows that we're not prepared, and that adequate information did not go down well to the people for them to be able to prepare. So I will say, and you can even see that from NADMO perspective, they have nothing. From NADMO perspective, they have nothing to offer because the devastating effect of the spillage is beyond measure.
Okay.
So I will say that the damage, they have to cost the damage that the spillage has done and adequate compensation, not stipends, not a dole out. Adequate compensation should duly be paid.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. Let me have this from Nana Ayimedu. He is with Jubilee House Communication. He says, "Good morning, Roland. I like how you allow your guests opposing the government to import topics and subjects at will into the conversation. I only wish that you will allow pro-government guests that's just an inch to do same. We are supposed to be observing a discussion of the Akosombo dam spillage, yet your NDC guests are talking, I only have one NDC guest here though, are talking Israel-Palestine war. You wouldn't have countenanced that from an MPP
because the president
and government
left
guest.
the suffering of people and was talking about that. That's
All right,
why he talked about it. He lied about it.
Please. Now, I have this from Prince Henry. He says, so who voted for Mr. Peter Mawu to help the MPP have the majority group in Parliament? The sad aspect is that Dr. Lechar happily translates the insults from the president to his own people.
I agree.
Okay. Now, let me just read this. Media General, and this is a big announcement. So, we officially want to announce that Media General and 3 Foundation are officially mobilizing supplies, food items, clothing, and other essentials to support our brothers and sisters in the Volta region who have been affected by the spillage. Now, by this announcement, it also means that We need items such as food, clothing, school books, medicines, building materials, and other essentials to ease the situation that the victims of this big disaster find themselves at this moment. Media General and 3 Foundation are welcoming all donations from the public, and this can be sent through the 3 Foundation number, and we'll put the number on the screens for you: 059 7433110. I'm reading it slowly so that we get it again. The numbers will be on the screens for you: 059 7433110, or merchant number 120494. Merchant number 120494, with the merchant name 3 Foundation. All donations should be referenced Akosombo. So the normal 3 Foundation number for mobile money is 059. It will be on your screens very soon. 059 7433110. And then we have a merchant number, and it goes 120494. 120494. 120494. All right, we'll put all these subsequently on the screens for you. Our time is up, I'm told, but my director has allowed me to read a couple of more messages, 5 more before I go. This one is coming from Triddles. Triddle says, the president telling victims he wouldn't have visited if not for the public visuals because they don't vote for him is a very sad. Dr. Asantiocho, thank you very much for joining us. We're grateful. Now, Kalio Man says, do you remember his fellow Ghanaian days? Anytime he makes statement that is so clear, yet his people will have it to come and explain. It's the same thing that is happening. He said no haircuts, and there were haircuts. They came explaining. And then also, let me have this one from Chris Ashalibuchi. He says, at least the president has spoken better than Chairman Woon to me. I only pray that the president's speech is not another Gangantuan rhetoric. And Chris from Ashalibuchi, again, that Chairman Woon to me comment, I haven't verified. More, Joshua Apambela, Roland Walker, I think you have not been fair with Husseini. Oh. That it is because of his interjection that caused the MPP communication director to call him. Please apologize to him for that comment. My take. Please, I apologize to you. Thank you very much, Bernard Mona. Nana Imedu from Jubilee House Communication says you imported, but I think it was in relation to his president's diplomatic comments.
The import of it was
and then also,
at the time one life were
and then also to you as well. We're grateful, Mutala Mohammed, and then Husseini. We have cash out. We encourage you to cash out. It goes with a short code. Star 439 hash. Star 439 hash. Star 439 hash. Star 439 hash. We encourage you, please. Thank you very much, Bernard. And then thank you all who have joined our streams. Imelda, Nasara, Amma Magold, Jefferson, all of you, Bisnap. We're grateful. Ali, Alfred Dodu, and all of you. We're taking a break. When we come back, we have a big conversation. And it's about remembering Atta Mills and what the foundation is doing in his memorial and all the effort that are being made to make sure that we keep his name alive. But let's cash out. Do we have the draw ready now? Let's look at what the dashboard is giving us. Can we do it? 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Well, we don't have it. Okay, we're taking a break. We'll be right back.